just cut that part out.
That's so getting cut. What is your age, sex, and location?
I'm gonna put him on Love Sabra.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of H3Y. Today I'm with one of the H3 community's favorite commentators, Stardust. Stardust, for those who are not familiar with who you are, would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Stardust. You may know me online as Stardust. I had a channel called Stardust, and then I made another channel and for video essay stuff, and then I named that Small Talk, and I switched it back to Stardust. So I had a little bit of an identity crisis there, but yeah, I used to do political content and debate content, and then I moved over to drama, and now I'm kind of floating around editing things and figuring out my next video essays. So yeah.
Awesome, thank you so much, Stardust. Would you rather I call you Stardust or Star? Do you have a preference?
I don't have a preference. Either one's fine.
Okay, I might be using them interchangeably throughout this interview. So let me give you a quick breakdown of the structure of this interview. So I have some icebreaker questions. These are questions I ask every guest. Then I have a fan-submitted question, and then I have some star-specific questions. And at the very end, we have a fun activity. So let's get started. Stardust, do you have any ghost stories?
So I don't believe in ghosts, actually. So I don't have any ghost stories. I think one time somebody told me a story of how she was in like this beach house or whatever with her family, and she heard somebody, walking up the stairs, and she knew it was a ghost, and she told that ghost that, I know you're here to visit me, but you need to rest, because it was one of her dead family members. And I'm like, that could have just been a home invader that you told off, So yeah, I don't really believe in ghosts, but
How about aliens? Do you believe in aliens?
I don't really, or not in the sense that like most people do. It would be nice. I think aliens are cute. The idea of it's kind of cute, but even the idea of ghosts could be kind of cute, but I just don't believe in them,
I have a ghost story. Would you like me to share it with you? If you haven't heard it before, have you ever heard my ghost story?
I haven't.
Okay, let me paint the scene for you. So, takes place when I am a sophomore in college. I'm at my desk, just like I am right now. I'm working on homework or something, just tapping away. And at the time, I'm very into the gothic aesthetic. So I have like pentagrams and altar tables and crazy shit like that around my room. And I have a cloth on this little table on the opposite side of the room, and I see it creaking, and I hear it creaking back and forth. So I walk over to investigate. And once I'm about a foot away from the table, I take a look at the wallet that's sitting in the middle of the table, and I see it fly towards me like instantaneously, like almost 2 feet. And then my whole body goes cold. It scares the crap out of me, and I run out the room. And that's the story.
Maybe the ghost was just trying to be helpful and give you your wallet, So.
I wasn't planning to go out or do anything that night, so it was just, I don't know what the goal or motive of the ghost was, but if the goal or motive was to scare the crap out of me, it succeeded. But other than that, I have no idea what it wanted.
Maybe the ghost. Okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on your show, but maybe the ghost was jerking off, and you were kind of like cutting into its private time, and it was telling you to like get lost.
Yeah, we can't talk about that on my channel.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
All right, it might have been. Who knows? Who knows what ghosts to do on their free time?
You can just cut that part out.
That's so getting cut. It's disgusting, Star. I can't believe that's what your mind went to when talking about ghost stories. How inappropriate and disgusting and childish. Next question. How do you wipe? From back to front or front to back?
Front to back. That is the advised way to do it for women. So yes, front to back. But I use a bidet, so
Ooh,
that also takes care of
fancy pants over here with the bidet. Wow. What do you say to the women that wipe the opposite direction?
That's not good for you. Don't do that.
All right, you heard it here first, everyone. It's not good for you. Next question. Who is your favorite member on the H3 podcast?
Probably the sound guy, Zach.
Zach.
I think he really is very funny. He's great at timing, and yeah, I have no complaints. I think the guy is just great.
At the end of the year, I want to tally up how many people have said which crew members, because I feel like Zach gets mentioned the most. Everyone fucking loves Zach.
You know what? I do have to say AB also. I do have to say AB as well, actually, because he's a really cool guy as well. So
he's great, especially lately. The fans fucking love AB so much.
Yeah, he's great. He's awesome. Yeah.
All right, my last icebreaker question. What would be your last meal? The meal can be as big and as extravagant as you want, or it could be as small and personal. Up to you, Star. What would be your last meal?
Maybe like a little cup of like cookie dough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just 1 cup.
So, yeah, just a little tiny cup of
You,
cookie dough.
for
Just nice.
context, you can have as
Before I die, right?
yes,
It's
right
before I
before you
die.
die. You can have as long as you want to finish this entire meal too.
I'll just savor it. I'll just savor the cookie dough.
All right, cookie dough, very good. All right, let's jump into. We only got one fan submitted question. This one comes from Papa Gut. What is your opinion on 6'7"?
I think 6'7" is it's a good meme, but not quite as good as 6'1". 6'1's a better one, so yeah.
I haven't heard of that. I was hoping you were gonna say 6'9", because that's my favorite number.
No, that's so basic. I'm sorry. That's just so basic.
I guess I'm a bit of a basic bitch. What can I say? I gotta stick with the classics.
mean-
They're classics for a reason, Star. Classic for a reason.
I guess so. I think 23 is also a pretty good one. 23 Skidoo, actually. That one's a pretty good one.
I am so not brain rotted enough to even know what the heck that is, but that sounds awesome.
23 Skidoo. 23 Skidoo. Just look it up, you know?
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into some star specific questions. Question 1: what is your age, sex, and location?
My age is oh boy, that's the my age. I'm older than I look.
I was
how about
curious because I was talking with Papa Gut and he's asking me. I wanted to prep some questions with him. He's like, "Do you know what her age is? She seems young," is what he says. I'm like, "I have
Yeah.
no clue. There's nothing about you online. You type in the Stardust wiki, all you get is a 2 bullet point a Destiny fan page that says, "Oh, Stardust does political commentary. Here's a link to her stuff." That's all you get.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm probably I'm old. I'm old. I'm
Really?
older than most people realize I am. Yeah, yeah.
I would have
I
guessed you're around my age because you look like you're in like your late 20s.
I'm in my 30s. I would
Okay.
say. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And you don't like having your like personal information like that online. Is that accurate?
Kind of, yeah. I'm just a little bit paranoid based off of some of like my interactions with crazy people online in the past.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
But sex, female, location, DC area. So
Oh, cool. Very good. Yeah, I was very curious about where you were located. Have you been stationed out there since you've been starting your online content career?
yeah, I grew up in the area, so yeah, it's just been, it's just like my place. That's all. Yeah.
Awesome. That's so exciting. See, one of the big reasons I wanted to even talk about you is like I know like nothing about you. You're like the person I know the least from all the people I've interviewed. So I'm really excited to like just learn more about you. Yeah. So are you a first generation Indian American?
So I believe first generation is the first group that's like born in America, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then yes, I am. Yeah. Yeah. My parents were immigrants. I was born here. Yeah.
What kind of did you experience any racism growing up for being Indian?
It was probably, I mean, I think that everybody deals with a little bit. The thing is, like, when you're growing up and you're, you're part of a group, like you want to think it's the last thing that people have on their minds, and then it's not until you're much older that you're like, okay, maybe my parents were right about this one thing, maybe my friends were right about this one thing when they said it was this, when they said it was racism or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously, like, I come from a Muslim background, so post 9/11 there was a little bit of that was a little rocky, but that was, it is what it is, right? So yeah.
Are people able to tell right away that you are Indian?
I think for the most part, yeah. I think for the
Okay.
most part, they are. Yeah, yeah.
I had no clue until you mentioned it on stream one day, because
Yeah.
I feel like, I feel like you could pass for like even like Hispanic.
Before I got the nose piercing, maybe I think I would have. I think even somebody asked me one time when I was much younger if I was Italian, and I was like, Italian. But no, after I got the nose piercing, I think pretty much everybody just assumes I'm.
Is that a stereotype of Indians get nose piercings?
I mean, yeah, like the single nose piercing. Yeah, it's like it is a very Indian thing to get. Yeah, for
Interesting.
sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
The craziest thing I have kind of a big nose, and I used to wear like this pentagram necklace in high school. Someone asked me, "Are you Jewish?"
I still get accused of being Jewish on the internet all the time, which is pretty funny to me. So
You do? Just because of
yeah.
the content you make, or looks wise?
I think I'm not really sure. I think it might be a little bit of both. I like to troll people often, and then, I used to argue with people within like the dissident far right groups, right? So,
Hmm.
so they would accuse you of everything basically if they felt like it. They would accuse you of being like a Fed, or accuse you of being Jewish, or accuse
Hmm.
you of, I don't know, anything really. So I still get the occasional comment here and there. So, yeah.
Yeah. People online just love accusing anyone for anything. I posted a video in your Discord. Someone accused me of being a pedophile.
I'm sorry about that. I don't think he was trying to accuse you outright of being one, but I think that guy is yeah, he can be a little bit. He's like the bulldog of the community. I'm so sorry about that. I told him
That's
to
so
be
funny.
nice.
I really
Yeah,
appreciate that. I thought that was really cool of you.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Next question. What is your relationship with AB from the H3Y podcast? Because the first time I heard about you, it was a panel. It was like Papa Gut, Keemstar, and you were in there. And Keemstar was talking shit about his wife or something. And then AB's like, "Oh, that's Stardust." She was one of like my first supporters on YouTube or the internet. So tell me a little bit about your relationship with AB.
So I think I initially, I can't remember exactly, but I do remember when AB put out a video on like Keemstar. I complimented him on it, and then I asked him for tips on like YouTube stuff. And he was very nice to me, very receptive, gave me tips and all of that. Um, this was a couple of years before I really started doing anything seriously with YouTube stuff, but he was very nice about it. And then I would every now and then catch a live stream of his, and yeah, it was just like years and years ago. I don't even know how long ago that was. So
Hmm.
it was before he worked at H3 even, I think. So
Is
yeah.
it purely coincidental that you are Stardust and he is Starkilla?
Completely coincidental. Yeah, yeah. Completely. It's like a complete coincidence. Uh yeah, I was already going by Stardust online when I reached out to him, and yeah.
So speaking
So
of the name, what made you want to choose the name Stardust?
I've gone by a lot of different monikers online, but I think I just used the name Stardust on some forum a long time ago, years and years ago, and it kind of stuck.
Hmm.
And it just ended up being like ever since I chose that for a forum a long time ago, it just ended up being the thing that I went by online.
Hmm.
So
It's
yeah,
always an
and
interesting journey how someone decides this is what I'm gonna go by from now on.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a
And I
story
thought it
called
was like a little bit less like I thought it was a little bit you know, I didn't want a name that's like too pompous, I guess, or
hmm
too egocentric, right? And I thought
hmm
like, oh, like that's a nice one because everybody
Yeah.
can say, so
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a very nice name. However, I gotta say the fact that it's so like kind of general, it's hard to find you like on Google and stuff. Maybe that's how you like it. I don't know if that's how you kind of want to be kind of in the.
No, I mean, I did run into that issue, and that's kind of why I initially thought, okay, my new channel, maybe I should name it something else because, maybe I won't be so absolutely blasted in the algorithm, or not algorithm, in the SEO, but
Mhm.
then everybody knows me as Stardust. So,
Right.
it
Yeah.
just, yeah, went back to being Stardust. So,
I personally would have stuck with small talk. Small is one of my favorite words. You can tell like if you click on my username, my name is Small Pickle, just because I love those two words together. I think they're funny. I really wish you would have stuck with small talk. It's cute, and I think it would have been good like over time. I mean, you were just starting out. But I think eventually, like, I think it would have caught on.
yeah, well, so it was kind of chosen as ironically because it was going to be a video essay channel.
Hmm.
So if I do
Well,
these big video essays, then that are kind of serious, then and then it's named Small Talk. It would be kind of funny,
yeah.
um, no, because all my previous content is under the name Stardust.
Hmm.
Then this new channel, it's like all my old followers and subscribers don't know where to find me, so it's better that I go by Stardust. Maybe just add something on the end, yeah. So
So was your original YouTube channel named Stardust?
yes, it was, yeah, yeah.
Did you
But now
rename it?
I renamed that Lost Stardust Media, because it's the old channel. I've retired it. So.
Gotcha. It has about 15.6 thousand subscribers on it. Why did you decide to archive that channel?
Well, so it's funny. You may know, like, I made a couple of video essays on Frogan specifically.
Hmm.
Um, and while I was making the second video essay, I stored a clip of her, or a clip of one of her tweets on my old YouTube channel. And because I didn't include any commentary with, I was just keeping it for storage, right? It wasn't like a public thing or anything. But because I didn't put any commentary over it, YouTube, this should be also like kind of a sign that, like, yeah, she was kind of out of control. YouTube saw that tweet that I had screen recorded of hers, and like they were like, we're demonetizing your entire channel, basically.
Oh, so
it was,
the AI read the text. It's just like a screenshot or the screen recording of something she
it was
said
a
on.
It was a screen recording of her quote tweeting, I believe, Hamas propaganda, and
Mhm.
tweeting at somebody and saying that, oh, this is good for a next video idea, basically, and that got my entire old channel demonetized. So
Like
yeah, I mean, it was
permanently.
permanently. So it was, yeah, it was stupid for me to
Damn.
don't make that mistake. Store it on your Google Drive or something. But yeah, that's the story with that. So I figured, okay, I'll make a new video essay channel, retire that one. Yeah. So we'll
Is,
see how it goes.
was there no way for you to try to get in contact with Google? Did you fight this at all?
I did fight it. There's absolutely no turning back. So
Shit,
yeah,
that is some bull crap for something you
yeah.
didn't say, just for something that wasn't even public. It doesn't sound like.
No, it was listed as private, but
Fuck.
it is
Okay,
what it
good.
is.
Lessons learned, because I have a bunch of crap stored on like my private and unlisted videos. So, lessons learned for
Yeah.
any up and coming YouTubers out there: don't use your personal YouTube channel as storage or archives. Let's see, what else do we got here? So while we're on the topic about your content and streaming journey, tell me about like why you wanted to start making content in the first place, and how did you get started?
So, initially, like, I started off streaming on Twitch for a few years. Well, not even a few years. I started off streaming on Twitch for a couple of months, and I did mostly music streams when I did Twitch when I initially started. But then, I got like a couple of creepy comments, and that kind of scared me away. And then I didn't return to streaming or content creation for like another year. Um, when I came back, it was when everybody was arguing online about politics. And I thought, oh, I can do that. So
Hmm.
I started jumping on these panels, of these politics streamers and arguing about stuff, and or memeing, or just doing debates and stuff. And that ended up like taking off relatively. And then I would get involved with some drama stuff, and that also would take off. Um, and it's funny because like people I've fallen out with, it seems like everybody else is like away from falling out with them by a year or two. But anyways,
Trendsetter,
so
trendsetter.
maybe, or just like too early. Um, so yeah, so that I kind of ended up taking off, and then eventually I switched from politics to more drama coverage. I used to host panels as well for quite a long time, but I stopped doing that, just because it was so exhausting. And then organizing creators to be part of a panel, like they're all flaky, every single one of them. So, and then yeah, I was doing drama coverage for a while. Then I took a break. I did a video essay, my first video essay. Well, yeah, I did my first video essay. That was like the Frogan video essay, the first one. Then I did the second one. And then I kind of took a step back. I've been editing for Lonerbox, and I've been editing for a couple of other people, but mostly Lonerbox. And kind of like scoping out like where my next direction is with my next video essays. So thank you.
So you mentioned a few things. So at the start of your streaming career, you started receiving weird messages from people. What would these messages consist of?
Oh, when you do like music stuff, and also Twitch was such a different place back then, but like there were a lot of Coomer kind of viewers, and so I remember getting one of these people who used to watch me found my Instagram, my personal Instagram, and sent me a message and basically said that like one of the pictures I had just uploaded was giving him a hard on. So
Hmm.
I really didn't like that. So that scared me. So I stopped streaming like for a full year after
Hmm.
that. So yeah.
Yeah, being a woman online is rough. One of my favorite streamers, her name is Kayla.
Mhm.
She does vertical YouTube streaming. The people on vertical YouTube streams are like the biggest degenerates on the platform. Like they see an attractive woman instantly. Where's your OnlyFans? I want to I want to consume that kind of content, and they just don't stop. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. They really don't. It's like, why would you tell me even? Why would you tell me something like that? If you're gonna do that, keep it to yourself. There's no reason to send me a private message about it, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So what is
So.
what is music streams? What would that consist of?
I would just like play piano and do covers of songs and stuff like that.
Oh,
So.
fascinating. Okay, when you first said that, I thought maybe you were just like from what I do. I parody Brad Taste in Music. I call it Alex Taste in Music. So I just listen
Nice.
to albums and I rank them. So you would actually just play music live on stream for people. That's cool.
Or I would like make little songs. I made a song about like a cat that was addicted to crack cocaine, things like that. So.
Oh, how nice. Is
Yeah.
and I don't think any of this music online exists today. Is there any way people can listen to some of your originals?
My originals, I don't really have any originals. I just would make songs on the go for people, if they
Hmm.
really wanted it. But I,
Hmm.
I didn't store any of that. I
Damn.
mean, I'm sure on the Lost Stardust Media page, there's like me singing a little bit of karaoke, a couple of clips. They're shorts, I think, of me banana mode singing some songs. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, maybe one day. So.
Would you ever consider doing a collab with Lonerbox? Music
Maybe if you
wise.
wanted to. Yeah, maybe if you wanted to. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Maybe I could do some death metal vocals. We could have a whole like YouTube Sphere virtual band.
Yeah, yeah, that would be funny. It would be funny.
Oh, we could have Bo Blacks doing some screams too.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, yeah. We could. I've always wanted, one of my dreams has always been to like have like a kazoo orchestra, and have just everybody, like a whole group of people like playing kazoos, but everybody like knows what part they're playing, right? And
Mhm.
then it just like it literally is an orchestra of people playing kazoos. It would be awesome. So.
Alternatively, it would also be funny if you just got a bunch of people like on those panels, and if you tried to conduct everyone, but obviously everyone has lag, so it's gonna
Yeah,
sound
I know.
hilarious and terrible regardless. But you
Yeah.
pretend like it's amazing. I think that'd be some good
Yeah, I
comedy.
just show up dressed up and everything, and then bring
Mhm.
the conductor's baton and all of that. Yeah, it'd be funny.
Absolutely, I would love to see that. So you mentioned that you're an editor for Lonerbox. What's your relationship with Lonerbox like, and how often do you edit for him?
Yeah, we're friends. I think we both kind of entered the same space at similar times. Uh, and I think I just had volunteered to help him with some editing at some point a long time ago, and then I wasn't really in a full-time editor, or I wasn't seeking out a full-time editor role at the time. But then most recently, I don't know how long ago this was. I had taken a step back from streaming because I was trying to figure out what I was doing next with like the video essays and stuff like that. And I was kind of like in a rut as well. And he was asking me like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm just kind of like taking a step back right now." And he's like, "Oh, would you want to edit?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah, I can edit, but I've never done like a full-time editing job before." And then, it just kind of took off from there. So yeah, I edit basically. I'm like his full-time live stream editor, basically.
Oh, that's
So
awesome. Very good, very
yeah,
good.
yeah,
It's kind of like the kind of deal I want to get into. I want to make my own content, but I also want to work for like a bigger YouTuber, part time or full time. So that's the dream right there. Let me know if anyone's ever
yeah.
looking, and please reference me. I edit tons of videos all the time.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely will. Yeah. No, it's definitely, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be able to edit and test out, especially I get to test out things on his channel. And so I'm grateful for that opportunity to do that while I'm like figuring out what the fuck I'm doing. So
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
So one of the first times I was chatting with you here on Discord, you mentioned that you were very happy to be a part of any H3 or any community that would accept you. To me, that sounds like you've been ostracized from many communities in the past. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
I don't know if I've been ostracized. I was always floating around in a few different communities. I floated around in the Destiny community for a little bit, then I floated around in the commentary community for a little bit. I also currently I float around a little bit on the fringes of the girl world community, and I'm just kind of like in my own space right now. So I'm always happy to network with people and like and be part of communities. I think it's just really nice because content creation can be very lonely.
Hmm.
Yeah. And that's always what my goal was with when I used to run my panels, was to just like connect people together. I think it's I do well with other people. So
Yeah, I've hosted a few panels myself, and when the people like dig each other's vibe, and then they start following each other, and interacting each other with each other afterwards, I always think that's awesome. I love bringing people together too.
yeah.
And so 3 years ago, when you were first brought up on the H3 podcast, when AB was talking about you, there was people talking shit about you in the chats, saying that you support the quartering and you're transphobic. What do you have to say about those comments?
I would disagree with those comments. Part of the reason why that was happening was because I had a very public falling out with Keffels. Because Keffels was accusing me of being friends with somebody who like doxed her or whatever. And I went through this guy's comment history, and there was no doxing actually from him. And in fact, like he was like the only person in that space who was like correctly gendering her, right?
Hmm.
And so, I'm not gonna deny, like, he had very different political views from me. And I don't know that I'm friends with him currently anymore. But, I was just like, and after Keffels kind of like had a meltdown because she was invited to a political panel that I was on, and then she was like hate watching that political panel, and while all of us were live, that was how it really started. And she was like, "Isn't this girl friends with this guy who she was accusing?" And then basically what happened is that her and I guess did a one-on-one call, and it started off really calm, but then she just absolutely melted down on me, and then like accused me of being a Nazi, and like accused me of all these other things. I'm not transphobic. I'm very like pro-trans rights. I am not a fan of the quartering, but the quartering, I posted a clip of Keffels basically that kind of showed what she was doing with the quartering, because she was like, I guess she was like lying about him or whatever. So I just posted a clip of it, like, why would you lie about this? Like,
Hmm.
and then he followed me, and then I asked him if I could interview him. But I'm not friends with him. I disagree with him. The one conversation I had with him was like kind of like, "Hey, why do you make such a big deal about minorities and like different types of people in these films when it's not that big of a deal?" And like there have been studies shown that like women respond to seeing themselves in media, maybe not the same way that maybe men don't, right? But at least there was a study that showed that women do respond to seeing themselves in media, right? And it is important. So we had a conversation about that, which he just kind of like was trying to be as conciliatory as possible, which was very strange for me. But yeah, so that's like the
Interesting.
whole story. Yeah.
You briefly talked about Keffels, and earlier in this interview, you mentioned you had a falling out with people long before most people online did with certain specific people. Is Keffels one of the people you were thinking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
One of the people. Yeah.
Cool. Why were people so like? Was there like a snark dedicated to you, where people were spreading like misinformation about you? Because the chat seemed pretty adamant that you both supported the quartering and was transphobic. Why did this become kind of like the
Because
talking points?
Keffels would blatantly just like would lie about me, like, right, like just like said that I was a Nazi, first off,
Hmm.
neo-Nazi, right? Like, which is insane. If you knew anything about like my history online, you would know that like, and one of the earliest attacks I dealt with was like from a literal neo-Nazi, like I
Hmm.
had a guy who was like hate rating me for a week straight, and he would like every single day I went live, all 600 of his viewers would be like hate rating me. He was on one of these other platforms that you can't really moderate, right? And their whole entire goal was to just make streaming for me absolutely unbearable, and like to get me banned from any platform I was on.
Hmm.
Luckily I withstood that, but it was just like it's just such an offensive like allegation to make towards me after everything I've been through online. Um, it's just, when Keffels back then, she was very, very influential, right? She had articles written about her. She had like a huge following at that time, and so when she said something, people took it and ran with it, right?
I see.
And there was like a whole ecosystem of like far left people who would just kind of like eat it up and like regurgitate it, right? So,
Mhm.
yeah.
And she was at the time she was friends with the H3 community too. So I think that influence with all of her lies on Twitter and stuff kind of made people in the H3 community at least not want to be friends with you. And AB was so scared when he was seeing the backlash in chat. He's like, I don't know nothing about Stardust anymore. Like I knew her like a long time ago. So yeah, it sucks that
Also,
that
as part of that, you're part of the liberal, like if you're a liberal amongst all these far left people, which Keffels is pretty far, or she was at least previously very far left, right? And she used to be further far left. She used to be like, I'm pretty sure she used to be like a Marxist. So I don't know what she is now, but yeah, in comparison, like, yeah, I'm just a standard moderate liberal, and she was pretty far left at the time, and that entire, again, kind of ecosystem online, if somebody says something, like a lot of them will just regurgitate it, right?
Mhm.
Is kind of like you've seen the same thing with Hassan, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I get called a baby killer just for making A-Street content. It's crazy.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm very glad to hear that, you both, one, you don't fuck with the quartering, and two, not transphobic. So shout out Stardust. Let's
Thank
move on
you.
to another question here. So you've been online for a long time, but why is it so hard to find anything about you? Like someone went online and just scrubbed everything besides yourself. You'd expect there to be like some existing remnants about you online, but it's very hard to find stuff.
Yeah, I guess, why is that? I don't know. I think people also look at me and they get the wrong impression, right?
Hmm.
And it's like from both sides, right? I'll get people to the right of me, or even just people of the same political leaning of me, who will just look at me and assume a lot of things about me. So I'm not really sure. I know that there have been a couple of hit pieces made on me, at least. Like, there should at least be that. But even the hit pieces are like kind of like um more from like the perspective of somebody who doesn't really know any of my views, right?
Right.
So I think a lot of people like look at me and assume that I'm going to be like a hyper easy to offend person, which is just not the case. Super far left, easy to offend person, and that's like not who I am. And then a lot of like left wingers, already super far left people, already have like this impression of me that's kind of been like spread around. And I also don't like buy into the whole like platforming argument either, so that tends to, I don't know, people do a lot of guilt by association and things like that.
What would you say
But I
is
mean,
their impression of you? Like, how would they describe you?
I mean, for a long time, again, like, Keffels did like brand me as a Nazi. So,
Right, right.
you know, people at least thought I was like pretty far right. For some people on one end would think I'm pretty far right, and then the people on the other end would think I'm like, hyper offended, SJW all the
Hmm.
time, right? So yeah, I don't know. It's I mean, part of it probably is because I basically, you know, uh archived all my stuff on my old channel. But there should still be stuff out there. I don't know. I don't know why it's like that.
It might be the name thing, because like I said, the name Stardust is it's associated with a lot of different things. Like other YouTubers or content creators
Yeah,
also
there's
try
like
to
this
go by
ASMR
Stardust.
girl. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like this blonde, really like beautiful ASMR girl who goes by Stardust, and I'm like, damn, I will never compete with that. Yeah, but
Is she still active?
I think so. I don't. I would have to look it up though. Why are you
It'd
gonna look
be
for personal reasons?
No, I was gonna suggest you should, if you should do a collab with her, do a double Stardust ASMR.
I think she might be a little bit out of my niche, you know? Yeah, I don't think we do the same kind of stuff, really, you know?
Darn.
Yeah.
I had an ASMR YouTuber on this channel, and we did a roleplay ASMR together. It was really fun. I did a
Oh,
sketch where I'm iDubbbz and she's Anissa, and like Anissa's just bullying me the whole time, but it's all ASMR.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah.
So speaking about, you talked about a little bit about your harassment online. Have you received any additional harassment for supporting H3?
I think just the typical bad empanada things that he can push me around, all of that. Like he tried to, and then his fans will come around and say whatever about me, but I'm not really bothered by that, really.
Cool. Very good.
Yeah.
Let's move on to something really, really different. So one of the people I was talking to, I'm not going to say who it is just yet, but I was asking them, I'm interviewing Stardust. Do you have any questions, any fun questions you want me to ask them? So this person says, Stardust, can you explain what the human centipede question is? I have no idea what this person's talking about, but he really wanted me to ask you about it.
So I went viral in the Twitch politics sphere for a little bit after I was arguing with a couple of I joined this panel, and there were a couple of Nazis on it, right? And so I love to troll. So I think people, again, part of it is like my demeanor, I guess, and the way that I look. People don't assume that it's going to happen from me. So immediately I asked this guy, if you're like, is it even, I asked, like, if you're in a human centipede, and you know that you have to be in the middle, but you can choose who's in front of you and who's behind you in the human centipede, but it's between your mom and dad, who would you choose? And this guy got really, really mad at me, and he basically said that he would choose to like nuke me and like my, the country I came from, forever and all of this, and he just
That wasn't one of the choices.
Yeah,
it's
no, it wasn't. But he just like lost it, and he just absolutely threw a fit. And then he's spent like the next week going on to all these different shows saying that like, oh, Stardust is a savage, her family are a bunch of like they're a bunch of savages that we don't eat dog here, all that. And then it ended up culminating in me having a debate with him about like what exactly is the difference between him and me, if there's like any difference at all. And he was saying, well, I come from white culture. And then I tried to ask him like, what exactly is different about white culture? And then he was tried to group all of these European people together, European countries together, and I'm like, that doesn't work, because all of them were like warring with each other up until recently. But he couldn't really give me a good answer for like what exactly is white culture that isn't American culture, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's like
pumpkin spice lattes. That's what white culture is.
Pumpkin. I mean, but that's like regional American culture, right? Like, and sure, there might be some regional American cultures that are more white, right? But like, there's no overarching white culture that unites all white people in America and all white people all through Europe, right? Like,
right.
It doesn't work like that, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, not anything against white people. I love white people, but it was fun. It was a fun conversation, and he did not do well. So
it's very fascinating. I gotta check that out. That sounds really funny. But that question is disgusting. Do you have an answer for if you were in a human centipede and you knew you were in the middle, between your mom and dad, who would you want in the front? Who would you want in the back?
I don't have an answer for that one. I really don't.
Oh, Stardust.
Thought of the most disgusting thing I could ask him, because I think they all were like, I think also I had been waiting my turn very politely, and so then finally the moderator stepped in and was like, let's let Stardust ask a question. She has a question. And then I just asked the most disgusting thing I could ask.
How did you come up with this question?
I don't even know.
It's really one of the most disgusting questions ever. Like, it's a cat. Like, you're super fucked either way. Like, you don't want to shit in your mom's mouth, but you also want to be eating your mom out. Like, it's just disgusting.
I mean, like, I don't know. I used to come up with really, really awful questions. I had one panel show where it was, obviously I had the one debate panel show, but I had another panel show that was kind of like more like a game show. And I would ask people really messed up questions on it. So I was just really practiced at coming up with really messed up questions. But None of them were expecting it there. And I just think it's so funny that like that one clip of this guy like yelling at me, telling me that he's gonna nuke me and he's gonna nuke my country or whatever, which is like, bruh, America. But like, I, you know, that one clip, and it's just like me also laughing while it's happening. So that went viral a little bit, and like people, and then like everybody in the politics sphere were like, oh my god, like who is this guy? Like, you know, why is he like this? But I wasn't really too bothered by it. I thought it was kind of funny that I made him that mad. So
Yeah, a bit
yeah,
of an overreaction, I would say. Why do you think it triggered him so bad?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think I have no idea. I think he probably just wasn't. But he was also very, very like he was a very angry guy. Like he told one of my friends who was black that he like if his wife was if this friend of mine met his wife, like his wife would like whip him or something like that. Which it was the guy was really messed up. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
gotta stay away from that guy.
Who asked about that? The
Oh,
human
that
centipede.
was. Do you have a guess? Who could it be?
Don't have a guess.
It was Tipster.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I recently added him on Discord, so I like to send him messages every
Oh,
now and then.
that's so nice.
Yeah, I've been trying to interview him for such a long time. He was open to the idea, but ultimately, like 3 months after, he's like, you know what? I want to stay away from anything even slightly drama related. Like, I'm not a very drama like big channel at all, just because I'm associated with H3.
Yeah.
Therefore, Tipster kind of wants to stay clear from anything besides his little gaming stuff he
He's
likes
had
to do.
some he's had some bad experiences. People did try to farm him for a very long time. For like 2 years, people were trying to farm him for content. So I understand why.
That's totally
Yeah.
fair. But hey, if you ever get the opportunity, say, hey, the H3Y podcast is a good time. You should interview with Alex.
Yeah. What's the H3Y stand for?
Oh, it's just supposed to look like hey, but
Oh,
H3
that's so
since
cute.
so annoying because like I get that question so often. To me, it's obvious. To me, it's extremely obvious. I have to make a whole video about that. You're like, you're like far from the first person that asked me. It's all good. All right, let's move on to another question. So when I was trying to research you, like I said, one of the first and only things that popped up about you was Destiny fan wiki page that says Stardust and like it links to all your socials. What is your current relationship with Destiny?
So I used to be kind of like in his orbit, and I think also you'll find that a couple of like Lonerbox used to be in his orbit as well, right? You know, I just used to be a politics person. I would go on these panels, argue politics, and I think one time he liked what I had to say, so he added me and gave me perms in his Discord or whatever. Um, but you know, I would pop in every now and then to when he would have like people on his show arguing about things, but it was always very hard for me to get a word in. And then um, I don't know, after, you know, I'm sure you know of all the drama that came out with like you know, various people. I was completely unaware of any of that drama. I had already like stopped going on his show for maybe a year and a half by the time all this drama came out about him. And then when that came out, I was like, you know, yeah, I'm just not gonna be, you know, I mean, already I didn't really like a lot of the orbiters in that space anyways. It was just a very toxic, like the orbiters were pretty toxic, except for Lonerbox and a few others, but like, yeah, I just, I already had decided to like not be on that for quite some time. I will say, like, you know, I admired him as an entertainer, and I was grateful to him for having gotten his community to support me early on as an early content creator, and I'll always be grateful for that. But yeah, just after all that stuff, like, yeah, he doesn't, you know, it's just not, he's not somebody that I want to be collaborating or associating with. So yeah.
But that's good to hear. It's crazy because so many people within like your space or like just around the internet in general have or were associated with Destiny at some point. He's like kind of like Keemstar. Keemstar was like a kingmaker at one point, and I would say the same about Destiny.
He paved the way for a lot of politics people. He's still probably one of the best debaters, right? And you know, like, he's still a great entertainer, right? But yeah, like interpersonally, like very messy, right?
Yeah.
Very, very messy person interpersonally, and it's just not for me. that space or being involved in it, right? So
If Destiny was asexual like me in my community, he'd be at the moon by now.
maybe, yeah, maybe.
All right. Last question. What is something fun you like to do outside of streaming and content creation?
You know, I'm a workaholic, so like I don't know that I do much outside of streaming. I hang out with my pet birds. That's about it. Yeah.
Tell me about your
Um,
birds. It's just one
so
bird?
it's 4 birds. I have 4 parakeets. So I have 4 birds. One is named Gojo, one is Rabby, one is Egghead, and one is Here. They're all boys. I got them. They're about a year and a half old, I think, and they are. They're a lot of drama, honestly. You wouldn't expect parakeets to have that much personality. So, Gojo's kind of like the bold one who's very, very loud. He never shuts up. Rabby is like the quiet, reserved one. Here is kind of the aggressive one, and then Egghead is the happy, very expressive one who like bobs his head a lot. So they're very cute. I love them. Right now, Rabby is not doing too well because he has like a heart issue, so I have to give him medicine. He was having a heart murmur, and I'm hoping that with the increase in medication he'll feel better, but right now he's still dealing with the side effects of the medication. So yeah, it's really sad to see. So
I hope they bounce back, or I hope they live for a long time, because apparently birds live for like forever. So
we do.
that'd be great. If
Thank
you
you.
could, I'd love for you to send me some pictures of them so I could post them on the screen as you're talking about them. I
Yeah,
think that'd be
sure,
really
I'll
fun.
do that.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you so
let me
much. Oh, you can send me after our interview too. Right now, Stardust, what I'd like to do right now is we have a little tier list activity to do. So typically in my icebreaker questions, I ask who would you rather be stuck on a deserted island with, and you give like 3 or so of Ethan's enemies. But for this activity, I wanted to collect every current enemy of Ethan Klein, and I wanted to put them on a tier list to where if you'd like to be stuck on a deserted island with them or not. So let me set up the screens and we'll jump into it. All right, Stardust, welcome to the enemies of Ethan Klein tier list. Let me introduce the tiers really quick. At the top, oh, so this is going to be like, who would you rather be stuck on a deserted island with? So at the top tier, yes, want, we will live. Under that, we can be cool on the island, I guess. In the middle, it's gonna, maybe not. Under that, it's no. And the worst tier, love Sabra.
Okay.
So let's start with our first candidate. If you'd want to be stuck on a deserted island with them, we have Hassan Piker with my favorite picture of him.
What do they bring to the deserted island with them? Do they bring anything, or is it just them and their clothes?
Just them and their clothes.
Okay, I'm gonna put this guy on the no list.
Okay, very good. Hey, would you like to explain your rationale? Like, why not Hassan?
I just don't know that I just don't know that I would find anything interesting to talk about with him. I don't know, and I don't know. I think I would find him kind of annoying, and I don't know that. Well, you know, he is kind of strong. Maybe he could like build something, but he would probably want to make a communist kind of like authoritarian communist kind of like system on the island, even if it's just the 2 of us, and then that would just really suck because obviously he'd be like Stalin and I'd just be like the worker, right? So I don't know that I really want that.
So true. All right, and fantastic placement, Stardust. Let's move on to the next character we got. We have Logan Paul. Where would we put Logan Paul on the tier list?
You know, he's had some experience with being in the wilderness and seeing dead bodies, so I think
Very good, yeah.
and he's gotten less annoying in recent years. So I think you know what? I would put him on yes. Yes, we'll live. We'll live.
That's honestly, you have convinced me quite a lot. I also agree. That's a fantastic placement for Logan Paul. I'm surprised, very surprised. Let's check out our next candidate for the island. We have Trisha Paytas. Where would we put Trisha Paytas?
So the thing is, for as much, you know, Trisha Paytas can be very dramatic, but
Mhm.
she is incredibly smart, and I think people underestimate how smart she is. This woman started learning Hebrew within 6 months. I mean, that's insane, right?
Mhm.
So she's an incredibly smart person, and I think I would be at least entertained by her. And if nothing else, I could learn something from her, right? Like she seems like somebody I could learn some entertainment value things from. So, for now, I'll put her We Can Be Cool on the island.
Excellent commentary for Trisha. I definitely agree. She's definitely a survivor, and I feel like off camera, and if it was just the two of you on the island, she'd be like super serious mode. Like we are gonna live.
Yeah, I might want to put her next to Logan Paul, actually. I think I
Yeah,
do want to put her.
definitely. Yeah, I think that's fantastic placement. So I'm gonna let you take the reins and the placement. I'll just provide commentary on what I think you think. It's not like a collaborative. This is all you on where you personally would like to place these people. But I will provide commentary to try to sway you in one direction or another. Coming up next here, we have iDubbbz. How do we feel about iDubbbz on the island?
You know, I used to be a fan of iDubbbz, and I think I initially was a fan of him before I was a fan of H3, and then I became a pretty big fan of H3. Then, you know, once I got into content creation, I think I wasn't really a fan of anybody, but then, you know, recently, I think more than just recently, I think the past few years, I've still, you know, been a fan of him. But iDubbbz has just been kind of like a disappointment to me. And I don't know that he'd be very useful on the island, to be honest with you. And just with the amount of spinelessness that he has shown, like the quickest way to lose respect for me is to be a spineless bitch, and I think he is one. So I'm gonna put him on Love Sabra.
No, thank God. That was very, very well said. I couldn't agree more with everything you just said about Mr. Dubs. I too was a big fan of iDubbbz. So the betrayal, one of the biggest betrayals in YouTube history, I would say. Coming up next. So this is C-Man. All you need to know about him is he's gay and he loves men's feet.
How is he related to H3?
He used to be a frequent guest on the H3 podcast to talk about his weird foot fetish stories. But one day, C-Man got DM'd by H3 snarkers and was convinced that Ethan is homophobic. And then he just blasted Ethan on the snark page. And then I interviewed C-Man. He's like, yeah, I really didn't know what was going on, is what he told me. So this is C-Man.
I'm gonna put him in no, just because I don't know anything about him. So I'm just gonna put him in no.
Okay, good choice, good choice. Up next, we have Sean the Black.
So, you know, I think, you know, one thing about Sean the Black is I respect him for standing on his principles. So I will put him under We Can Be Cool on the island.
Yeah, honestly, the more I get to know Sean, the kind of more I like him.
He's an entertaining guy.
Yeah. Up next, we have
Love
Adam.
Sabra.
Okay,
Love Sabra.
Love Sabra. Very good.
Can't stand him. I would literally rather, if I were stuck on the island with him, I would rather die. I would walk into the ocean and drown myself.
Yeah. Again, couldn't agree more. Excellent placement. Up next, we have Evil Alex the Fiction.
Oh my god. Yeah, put him on Love Sabra. I'm sorry, I can't with
Okay.
him. He's so annoying. And he's such a piece of shit too. He like slandering Lonerbox all the time, going at Lonerbox all the time, but being too pussy to like actually debate him. Fuck that guy.
Damn, that's brutal. I did not know he had a relationship with Lonerbox like that. Up next, we have Noah Sampson.
I hate him. I also hate him. I hate him so much. He is so annoying. I have never heard such a whiny bitch boy voice in my life. He's got these like beady little eyes that have no soul behind them. No soul, right? Hasn't had any soul ever in his life, okay? I do not want a soulless demon on the island with me, who is adopting the aesthetics of communism just to get laid. That's just because that's what he's doing.
Right. Absolutely. So I wasn't even sure if this was really him. I looked up Noah Sampson. This was the first picture that popped up. And apparently he was like, he played sports for his college or something. And I'm like, that's him though. Like, that's him. But it says Simon Fraser on the shirt. I don't know what that means. If that's his real name or not. If Noah Sampson is like a pseudonym. But this is the first image that popped up on Google. So I'm not doxing or anything. But yeah, I'll put him in Love Sabra. And
I had a nightmare about him.
You
I had
did?
a nightmare.
Oh God. I wouldn't wish
I
that
had a
upon my
nightmare.
worst enemy.
Yeah, so basically what the nightmare was is that I was in a cabin and there was like a snowstorm going on, like a blizzard going on outside. And in the same cabin was Noah Samson. And Noah
Ooh.
Samson was being a pathetic little bitch, all right? And I couldn't stand him. He was being such an annoying, pathetic little bitch that I walked out into the blizzard. And I thought I would rather take my chances in this blizzard and almost die than be stuck in this cabin with this motherfucker. So.
His personality. It reminds me of this movie I saw recently called Funny Games. It has to do with these two home invaders and they have like the weirdest personalities ever. It's like they look like clones of a clone, and that's how I would describe Noah Samson in both aesthetics and personality wise. These are the two. It's literally the scariest movie I've ever seen. He reminds me of those characters in that movie. I'll play a short clip on the video so the audience at home can get a sense of what he reminds me of. But excellent placement and love Sabra. Couldn't agree more, Stardust. So you're so real for that. Coming up next, Dan Clancy.
So the only thing about him is that since he's a CEO, I feel like if he were on the island with me, that at least rescue ships would come much faster.
So in this scenario, let's assume that based on the person's clout, it doesn't matter if you're on the speed in which you'll get rescued.
Then I'll put him under no.
Okay. Yeah, he's old. He's not. I don't think he'll make it very far on the island. And I've heard a friend of a friend say he smells really bad in person.
And he's a coomer.
Coming up next, Ethan's. Sometimes I consider Ethan his own worst enemy. So we have Ethan Klein.
I think he's funny, and I like it when he goes like off, like when he goes goblin mode. Is the funniest thing I've seen. I remember one time I just feel like if we were stuck on the island together, he would go goblin mode all the time, and at least it would be entertaining, you know. So I put yeah, we want to live.
I feel like on an island, Ethan would be so incredibly selfless, and he would try to help you in whatever way he could. Personally, that's how I would see Ethan on the island. Oh, and it'd be really fun. Like I met him in person. He just wants to entertain. He just wants to be funny and make sure everyone likes him. So I think that's it would be a good time on the island with Mr. Klein. Up next, we have Anissa.
You know, I think she'd actually be pretty resourceful. I'll put her under eh.
Very good. Very good.
Like she's definitely the brains in the relationship with iDubbbz.
Yeah, one of my friends, Haley's Comment, famously said there's no thoughts between those eyes when it comes to iDubbbz. Coming up next, do you know who this is?
No.
This is Jake Doolittle. He has what's the disease? He has lupus. So that's basically all you need to know about it. Oh, and he has bad knees. And he used to be a dancer, and he does like he's a bread tuber.
I'm gonna put him under no. I don't know anything about him, but if he's got lupus, he's definitely not making it on the island.
All right, very good. Sorry, Mr. Doolittle. I think he'd make a good snack. He looks like he's very vitamin dense. If you had to choose him.
He's got lupus? No, he doesn't. He probably doesn't have many vitamins.
Darn. Okay, up next we have James Charles.
I think he's resourceful. I'll put him under A.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
Next.
Yeah, I don't think he would do too bad on the island either.
Up next, we have Jordan Peterson.
I think this guy is addicted to like ketamine, so I'm gonna put him under Love Sabra. I don't think he'd be useful at all.
I think he's actually in the process of dying right now, so I don't think he'd actually be very good on the island.
Kind of sad. You know, one thing I'll say is I respect him for hitting back at Andrew Tate and calling Andrew Tate what he is, but I don't agree with any of his other views.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know he did that. Shout outs to him. Coming up, one of my favorite images of all time. It lives rent free in my head. Mike from PA.
Love Sabra.
Very good.
I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, I can't.
He's not Jewish, right? I don't think he's Jewish.
I don't think he's Jewish, but what's he gonna do on the island? Punch a couch? No, thank you.
So true. Coming up next, one of my favorites, Caseytron.
The thing about Caseytron is that back in the day, she used to be very, very entertaining. She's an incredibly talented person, but I think she just like smoked too much weed and she doesn't know what she's doing anymore. So I think she's smarter. If she were on the island, she'd probably be forced to use her brain, right? So I'll put her next to James Charles.
Yeah, good choice. I feel bad because people always talk about her in such high regard of how she used to be, but from what I've seen, like it doesn't live up to the hype, sadly. Up next, Moses Hackman.
Love Sabra.
I can't. He's actually Jewish. I'll put him in no. Put him in no for that one.
Okay. Put him under no. Sure.
All right. Up next, the baddie herself, Denims.
I'll put her under because I think she's also resourceful. So.
Very good.
She seems like a little bit too smart to, like we could maybe survive if she's not too smart. Yeah.
I love her makeup. I like how she does her eyeliner.
Yeah.
Coming up next, your personal favorite, we got Frogan.
So, the one thing about doing video essays on people is that while I see all their flaws and I criticize them very heavily for their flaws, I also see where they have strengths. I think Frogan is an underrated entertainer. I think she's infinitely more entertaining than Denims is. And I think, she's been at least, I don't know, I might think she's kind of a flake, and I might think that she also she can be kind of selfish and kind of short-sighted. We can be cool on the island. She's not completely terrible,
Yeah, honestly, I don't know too much about Frogan, but I feel like she has the capacity to be very nice and sweet if you wanted to.
She's smart.
Yeah.
Smart, she just doesn't use her brain.
Coming up next, the entirety of H3 Snark.
The thing is that they're so deranged. The moderators are so deranged. I feel like it would either be a Lord of the Flies situation, or they would be excellent at surviving on the island, right?
It's exactly gonna be Lord of the Flies. There'll be cannibalism on day one with these people, I think.
It could be 50-50. It could be that these people are so deranged that they actually survive, or it could be that they're so deranged that we just immediately go to Lord of the Flies. So I feel like I have to take a chance with them.
Oh, jeez. So, H3 Snarks is like a hive mind of Trisha, Hassan fans, and former fans of the H3 podcast. I think the Trisha fans would eat the other fans alive.
They'd eat me the first day. So you know what? Love Sabra, actually. Yeah. They would eat me the first day. Yeah.
That one, though, you're right. It would be better with the power of numbers, but the craziness outweighs the helpfulness in that situation. All right, we got 4 left here. We have Destiny. This picture of him is so funny. Like it's like one of the most popular pictures, but there's like such a darkness to this picture.
It's a professional photo, I'm pretty sure. I would put him. He again. It's sad to see where he's gone recently. It's really sad to see where he's gone. And just knowing that he's interpersonally a mess. But again, like it's hard for me as somebody who did admire him for his debating skills, his political thoughts and just his entertainment value. Because those were things that I admired about him, but obviously the interpersonal stuff is just incredibly messy. I just can't with it, and it's just like a toxic community, and I don't know. I have a lot of conflicting feelings. It's just very hard for me. But I would say we can be cool on the island.
Very good. Yeah, it seems like if he wasn't around like streaming or online content or anything like that, if he was just away and offline, I feel like we could be cool on the island. Why not?
I mean, he would probably still be interpersonally messy, but
there's no temptations on the island besides
he's
ourselves.
Very smart. You know what? Actually, I would put him on Yes, We'll Live, because he's too smart. He's just too smart for
Perfect. All right, coming up next, we have Taylor Lorenz.
I'll put her under I
Darn.
feel. No, you know what? I'll put her under no. I don't think we'll thrive.
Hell no. Hell no. I don't think she's done anything besides be a Twitter warrior. I don't think she has any skills besides that. Let's switch up the arrangement a little bit. Let's do Vosh, the horseman himself.
The horseman. Oh boy. This is another person I've met in person, and he's actually incredibly interpersonal. You know, he's incredible at talking to people, believe it or not. But yeah, again, very, you know,
It's
very
crazy.
messy.
It's like a one-for-one parallel in messiness and like political savviness as Destiny, I would say.
I would say Destiny's more politically savvy. I've seen some pretty bad takes out of Bosch. I'll put him under no, probably.
All right,
Put
sorry,
him under
sorry, Mr. Horseman, not today. And last but not least, Crew World Happy Mind.
Yeah, love Sabra. I don't think this person can survive.
I definitely don't think so. So you'll try to copy whatever you're doing, but without, you know. Yeah. Wow, that's very bottom heavy, this tier list. So let's review the top really quick. We have sorry, let me zoom into that. At the top, we have Logan Paul, Trisha Paytas, Ethan Klein, and Destiny. Right under that, we can be cool on the island, I guess. We have Sean the Black and Frogan. In the middle tier,
If I can, I would actually put Frogan at the top.
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I think she'll be fine on the island. Okay, in E tier, we have Nisa, James Charles, Casey Tron, and Denims. And under No, we have Hassan Piker, Seaman, Dan Clancy, Jake Doolittle, Moses Hackman, Taylor Lorenz, and Vaush. And in Love Sabra, we have iDubbbz, Adam McIntyre, Millhouse, Noah Sampson, Jordan Peterson, Mike from PA, the entirety of H3Y Snark, and Crew World Happy Mind. Are you satisfied with our placements?
You know, I think I want to change a couple of things.
All right, let's do it.
So, Sean the Black, let's put him in yes, will live. I think I will live with him.
Yeah, I think so too.
Under We Can Be Cool on the Island, I think James Charles, pretty resourceful. And I think
Oops.
you know, Jordan Peterson, I feel bad for dying people. Let's put him on We Can Be Cool on the Island.
All right. Okay, we'll assume in this scenario, he's like 5 years younger.
Yeah.
Okay.
He could be the father figure I never had. Would be great.
Right.
You know.
All right, how are we liking this?
I think this is good.
Very good. Fantastic, Stardust. Thank you so much for assisting me on this tier list. Let's close out the interview really quick. Let me just readjust our screens. Very good, Star. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Would you like to plug anything before we go?
Yeah, you can find me at you can find me at youtube.com. The name is Stardust IRL. So you can find me there.
Thank you so much.